For my special extra Oboe Winfrey interview, I have an extra special guest today who is the soloist with the Irish Chamber Orchestra in our next concert on the 19th of November, live from the National Concert Hall in Dublin. Kevin Jansson is a wonderfully talented musician who originally studied at the Cork School of Music. Now, I have to say, I don't know what they put in the tea at that school, but certainly they turn out some amazing musicians. So, to the soloist himself, hello Kevin, and thank you very much. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, I know that you're currently studying in New York, but obviously you're back at home in Ireland at the moment. Can you talk to me a little bit about how lockdown has impacted you? Because obviously we're in the second one now.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, a lot of my life stays the same in the sense that I spend a great deal of time practicing each day, but I definitely miss having lessons in person with my teachers over in New York. But it's overall, I've really enjoyed being home, and it's great to spend so much time with my family because I would have never had that opportunity otherwise, because I'd just be over in New York all year basically. So it's could be a lot worse for me, to be honest. And we have a pretty decent piano, which is great.
Okay, yeah. And how much practice do you do every day?
I don't know. I don't really count any hours or anything like that, and it probably depends how much time I have with classes or how much energy I have. But it could be in between like 4 or 6 hours, maybe. I generally try not to go over that.
Okay, yeah, just for mental health kind of reasons, yeah. And do you find you practice better in Ireland or better in America?
That's interesting. Ireland is, at least where I live, compared to New York, I feel like there's a bit more space. And also at home I have basically unlimited time on my piano at home. But when I'm in a school, you hear like 5 or 6 different people practicing some other piece and some other instrument surrounding you. So in that sense, I find it a small bit easier to practice at home, actually, I think.
It's less distracting, kind of thing.
Yeah, just a bit.
Now, something that people might not know is that in 2017, you made your Carnegie Hall debut, not only playing a piano concerto, but playing the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, I think it was, in the same concert. Now, that's pretty amazing. But for your ICO debut, you're only playing a piano concerto.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are we getting shortchanged here? So have you stopped playing the violin, or are you going to sort of, can we expect a secret surprise encore?
I mean, I guess we'll see, but officially anyway, I decided to focus on piano it's probably 2 years ago now. I think it's 2 years, yeah. I just figured I didn't have enough time to spread myself between both, and I think I'm a small bit closer to the piano at heart. So yeah, piano's the one for me. Right now, anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next week, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Kevin, you might notice that I'm actually called Oboe Winfrey. And there seem to be no oboes in this piano piece that you're playing. So, I mean, I hope it actually is a good piece without oboes, because recently Fineen Collins also played a Mozart piano concerto with the ICO with no oboes. So I hope this isn't going to be a trend in the ICO programming, that oboes are just kind of culled from our Mozart piano concertos. But seriously, Kevin, can you tell us something about the concerto that you're going to play?
Well, I mean, there. Hopefully, that won't happen for much longer, because there are only so many concertos that Mozart wrote like that. I think it was about 4 that he also scored for string quartet. I think it was with piano, which he wrote them in a bunch together in Vienna when he was like 25 or 26 or something like that. But this concerto, I actually have been in love with it for about a year, and I was so excited to get the opportunity to play it with ICO. It's just bubbling with joy, especially the outer movement, even though the last movement has a very dark cloud visit it twice, which is incredible, really. And the second movement is probably my favorite. It's just perfect, really. It's just this sense of soaring from start to finish. It's just gorgeous. There's not much else I can say about it apart from playing it. It's just amazing. I really love it.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear you talk about it, and I feel very sad that I won't actually be playing in the concert because there are no oboes. Now, I know you've already won lots of prizes and awards, and you've done really well in your career so far. But I just wonder, what's next for you? And also, if you were to give advice to a young person starting out on a musical instrument, what might that be?
What's next for me is simply continuing to learn. I'm not even 1% of the way to where I could be in terms of how much there is to learn about music and even just playing the piano and other things as well. So that's all that's on the cards for me. I'm just trying to keep working and keep learning everything I can. But in terms of advice I would give to young people, I think the most important lesson that I learned from my first piano teacher, Mary Beattie, who's an absolutely incredible person, and a lesson I'm still continuing to learn and try to figure out how it works, is just to really, really listen to every note that I play. It sounds so simple, but it's actually incredibly difficult. And it's definitely been the most important part of my development as a musician, and one that I continue to work on every day. And also maybe to be patient, because it does take a lot of work as well. So yeah, that's
fantastic.
That's all the advice I would give.
That's actually brilliant, because that's not, I think that's advice for all of us who play musical instruments, is
yeah,
focus.
definitely, yeah.
And it's not just people starting out, but remembering to listen. So Kevin, thanks very much for taking the time today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Kevin will be making his debut with the Irish Chamber Orchestra on Thursday, the 19th of November, live streamed from the National Concert Hall. Tickets for this concert are available via the NCH website, and they're only valid for 48 hours after the concert. Now, whilst I've got your attention, I wanted to let you know about the ICO Christmas shop, so check that out on the ICO website. Take care, and thank you very much.